He gave me a little break. Sometimes he wakes up twice a month, twice a night.
P, I had a serious conflict this morning.
Yeah.
Myself was conflicted with me on whether I should push the snooze button and sleep through this meeting.
How did you?
And I need to have serious resolution.
Leon.
Confession is good for the soul, and you're confessing to the right person.
Yeah.
He's on the right platform to do that, eh?
Let's come to confession later on.
Hey.
I usually do confession by appointment, but I'll take you anytime.
It's 7 o'clock. Meeting now resumes. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Meeting is called to order. We'll have the invocation by Rotarian Gwen.
Good morning, let us pray. O God, creator and sustainer of all that is or ever will be, accept our thanks for this day and all of its blessings. Please guide and direct our club, its leaders and membership. Grant that each of us may continue to be committed to the vision of Rotary worldwide, to our communities and to our country. Bless our fellowship today and always in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Loyal toast, Rotarian Leah Kala.
Good morning, fellow Rotarians and guests. Please join me in a toast.
Morning.
Please join me in a toast to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
To the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Thank you. Welcoming of our visiting Rotarians and guests, Secretary Dornett.
Yes, good morning, President Francis and everyone who is in this meeting. Welcome to another Sunrise meeting. I'll start by introducing our visiting Rotarians as protocol allows. I'll start with DG Louis Weaver from St. Martin. Welcome, DG. Great to have you.
Morning, everybody.
Yes,
Morning.
welcome. And we also have visiting, well, he's traveling now, but all the way from the Rotary Club of Delmas Airport, Port-au-Prince, Haiti, Marsu Edouard. I hope I got that right. My French is not very good, but welcome.
But you got it though. Thank you so much, and good morning, everybody.
I just
Morning
needed
again.
more practice. Thank you so much for being here. I see a Galaxy A30. I'm not sure if that's a Rotarian. If you're a Rotarian, I apologize. But I'm going to move to introducing our guest. I'll start with our guest speaker, Mrs. CARYL A, and you'll hear more about her as the program proceeds. We also want to welcome Yolanda Roll from the Insurance Commission. Welcome, Yolanda. Also visiting with us, Kenya Nottage, Miss Kenya Nottage from CARYL Bahamas. Welcome, and I know they're in support of our guest speaker. Also visiting with us, former ADR PAG Rengen from Freeport. I'm not sure what district Freeport is in, but I know
6990.
990?
6990.
Oh, 6990. So happy to have you. Welcome to the meeting. And I know what pulled you here, but I'm still delighted that you have visited us this morning and hope you'll come again.
Thank you.
And so that covers also visiting prospective member, hoping that she will join soon. She has visited quite a number of meetings, and that's Yvonne Gibson Sands. Welcome, Yvonne. Happy to have you at our meeting. And also,
Hello.
Galaxy 30,
Good.
not sure who you are, but if you're a guest, welcome to the meeting.
Hello, good morning. Galaxy A30 is Shellen Negro.
Oh,
Good
Shellen.
to be,
Okay,
yes.
welcome, Shellen. And Shellen is
Okay.
also from CARYL Bahamas. Shellen is the honorary secretary and a vice chair of CARYL. Welcome. And we're happy that you're supporting Mrs. Lashley this morning.
Thank you.
All right, so I think that covers guests. And so that leaves me to welcome our very own Rotarians. Welcome, and happy to see Sophia, Dr. Sophia Roll. I know your mom is in the hospital and we're praying for her recovery. And whatever the will of God is, we'll accept, and we're with you. We're standing with you, my sister. So welcome, happy to have you. I have not seen PP Leroy, but his father passed, as you know, and also past President Tanya. So please remember them in your prayers. So welcome, everyone. Do enjoy the meeting. And I will now hand back over to you, President Francis.
Thank you, Secretary Donnet. And now the Sergeant at Arms.
Good morning.
The floor
Good
is
morning,
yours.
everyone. Hope all
Morning.
is well. Hope all is well. This is the solemn season of Lent. Many of us, I'm sure, got our ashes yesterday. That's good. Started off right. Now, concerning fines, I would really like to know, and it's hard for us to determine who didn't go to church yesterday for their ashes. I would like to find them, but guess we'd have to leave that one. But let everybody put in a happy dollar in addition to $5 to help the cause. We're trying to find an equitable way to find people, because you can't find them by Zoom using so many different methods. But let's go with $5 and a happy dollar. Anybody wish to say what he or she is happy for? Let's hear some good news. There's so much bad news. Anybody has something to be happy about? You don't have to be afraid. If you sound too happy, I might charge you $5, but let us know anyway.
Father, I'm happy because I've been invited to make a Zoom presentation to the Rotary Club of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada on the future of work. It's similar to something that I did here a few weeks ago, and apparently we have a wide audience for this morning club, and so I've been invited to multiple different presentations. So I thank President Dean for putting me on the road and making me do these presentations, and I'll be charging $100, I think, for all of these pieces of work. Thank you.
Okay, so that sounds like a $5 happy dollar.
Great Rotarian, great Rotarian Bob, great.
Talking about work, okay, all right.
Father P, I'm happy I have $5.
Can't be that.
It can't be that. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Okay. Talking conflict resolution today. I saw Felix the other day. Felix say, Jimmy, I run my house. I run my house. Everybody say I'm hen-pecked, but I run my house. If I tell Carla to bring me some hot water, she better bring me some hot water. So I don't wash no dishes in cold water. Okay, you might have heard the story of all these fellows who went to heaven, or they were in heaven, and St. Peter told them, say, all right, now, all the men who used to run their house, who used to rule their wife, who would control their wife, stand on this side. And the others whose wives used to rule them, stand on the other side. So the fellows looked at one another, say, boy, we already in heaven, you use your lie around here, right? So they all went on the side where St. Peter asked them, whose wives used to rule them? So they know they weren't in charge of the house, no conflict there. And so they all went over there except this one fellow. So St. Peter repeated it, just thinking that the fellow didn't hear him. So the fellow continued on the side where it said that he he ruled his house. He in charge of his wife. So St. Peter say, what are you doing over here? Poor fella said, my wife told me to come here.
Thank you, Father P. I know you got another one in the bag.
Yeah, we'll come a little later. Bless you all.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Past President Diana, the floor is yours.
A very pleasant good morning to one and all. Thank you, President Francis. I am pleased to advise that our singing Rotarian, none other than Lovell, celebrated his birthday on the 13th of February, and we're wishing him a very happy birthday month. Happy birthday, Lovell.
Happy birthday. Now to our announcements. Directors. Any announcements this morning?
Good morning. I just want to remind everybody about the naming of the Peace site at the Foxhill Park on Saturday morning at 9:30. The Road to Peace will be naming the Foxhill Park, designating the Foxhill Park a peace site. And we have a ceremony planned for 9:30 on Saturday morning. Thank you.
Thank you too, Rotarian Patrick. Any others?
Good morning, President Francis. May I crave your leave to make an announcement?
Yes, ma'am. Morning.
Morning, fellow Rotarians and guests. And in the absence of AG Ken, who has responsibility or oversight for this club, it's an RCOB announcement. Wanted to bring to this club's attention the national effort to find volunteers to help with the vaccination that we expect to happen. The government has secured vaccines for COVID-19, and those vaccines should be on island next month in March. We expect citizens and residents to sign up to want to be vaccinated. That requires a huge effort. And so we need non-medical volunteers. PRIP Barry heads the national task force, as it were, for volunteerism. And they have turned to one of the best NGOs in the country, Rotary, of course, to ask us to lead the volunteer effort to find non-medical persons to assist with the vaccination process. What do they need? Initially, what we need is a count of 100 volunteers. We expect that will increase. We need persons who will do data entry, and we need persons who will assist with taking appointments. That's appointments online and appointments by voice, so to man call centers. Most of the efforts will be done remotely, so persons will be able to stay at home and volunteer. Some persons will be required at the vaccination centers. Each club in RCOB and in Freeport, actually, and I see PAG here, have been asked to provide coordinators, point persons who will help coordinate the efforts, who will find volunteers in the club, who will communicate the information as we get it. Things will be fast moving. Right now, the information is coming in bits, but we need to be in place and ready and be trained in time for March. So President Francis can indicate, I don't remember who the volunteers are, who the coordinators are for Nassau Sunrise, but please expect to hear more information from them in relation to needing volunteers, the call for volunteers. And the volunteers can come from our clubs or from our networks, from our churches or other organizations. We need reliable, consistent, confidential persons who will step up to this national effort. Lastly, I'll say we are looking for Creole speakers. We really need persons who can communicate in Creole. So if you know those persons, related to those persons, please let the point persons, the coordinators in our club know this. Thanks in advance. Rotary is stepping up to the plate, and I hope we all see the importance of this national effort. Thank you.
Thank you, AG Carla. And that announcement is on my list this morning, but I will just give the point persons, and they are IPP Sophia, Rotarian Patrick, Marsha, and Gwen from our club. So they are our contact, and they are in the group, and they are the persons to whom you should contact to volunteer with this vaccine. So thank you, AG Carla.
Thank you, President.
Are there any further announcements?
Yeah, President, I'd like to announce the raffle. And the raffle this morning is a cell phone. And please enter. I won't be able to draw the raffle during the meeting, having some technical issues. So I will draw the raffle after. So if you're interested in buying a raffle ticket, the tickets are 1 for $5 and 3 tickets for $10. The more tickets you buy, the better your chances. And of course, enter your order in the chat. I'll make note of it, and then we'll contact you afterwards once you've won the raffle. So thank you.
Thank you. And this morning, fellow Rotarians, I bring you great news. We have been the recipient of three recognitions. We are one of the only 1,550 clubs to achieve top 3 highest per capita annual giving for 2018-2019. Additionally, one of the only 3,400 clubs to attain the status of an Every Rotarian Every Year Club 2018-2019. Also, one of the only 4,000 clubs worldwide to become 100% foundation giving club 2018-2019. So as a club, we have a lot to be proud of. Let us give ourselves a clap. And so this congratulations, the Rotary Foundation wishes to congratulate each and every member on our achievement. And please note that this award relates to 2018. That year, President Leroy was in office. Past President Jackie was foundation chair. So congratulations to both of them for a splendid job. The district conference has been rescheduled. The new date is June 2nd to the 5th. Past President PAG Tim will be visiting all of the clubs shortly to bring further information. And one last item, all of you by now would have received the 20th anniversary letter and the flyer requesting your assistance in the sale of the anniversary booklet. So if you have not received that letter, kindly reach out to me so that I can forward a copy to you. But the committee is asking all members to please participate in this booklet, sale of the booklet, so that we can maximize and accomplish our goals. Thank you. And now we'll ask Rotarian Patrick to introduce our guest speaker, Mrs. LASHLEY, who will speak on the topic, meditation techniques for conflict resolution. Rotarian Patrick.
Good morning. CARYL A. LASHLEY is a barrister of more than 40 years standing with experience in litigation, family, corporate, employment, and trust matters. A follower of the Chartered Institute of Arbitration, she is proficient both as an arbitrator and a mediator. Her professional membership includes FIDA International Federation of Women's Lawyers, the Society of Trust and Estate Practitioners, STEP, Mediators Beyond Borders International, Mediator.com, Mediator Academy, International Bar Association, Bahamas Bar Association, where she served as secretary from 1992 to 1995, and as chairperson of Ethics Committee from 2000 to 2017. She is currently chairperson of the ADR Committee of the Bahamas Bar Association. She has been a follower of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators since 2012, and in 2014, she obtained an advanced certificate in trust and estate mediation with STEP. Determined to encourage, educate, and serve for peaceful and amicable resolution to conflict in 2016, she founded ADR Bahamas to provide education and stimulation for non-violent communication and conduct, and provide neutral to facilitate conflict resolution. She is also a member of BREA, Bahamas Real Estate Association. Ladies and gentlemen of Nassau Sunrise, please help me welcome Mrs. CARYL A. LASHLEY.
Good morning again. Thank you very much for having me. And I'm so elated really to speak on a topic which is so very important to me and to all of us. And I'd like to thank Rotarian Williams for resolving his first conflict of the day and not pressing the snooze button. And so that tells us conflict always begins with us. Although we think it begins with the other person, it's always with us. Now, good health requires us to release stressful aspects of our life as much as possible. Conflict is stressful. Conflict is injurious to our health. So what do we do about that? We do what we can on our own, and if we get nowhere, we get help. We find ourselves a mediator and we go to mediation. What is mediation? Mediation is a process for resolving disputes where an intermediary helps conflicting parties have a conversation in good faith to jointly resolve their concerns. Now, there are numerous ways we can resolve conflict ourselves. The very first, the easiest, and sometimes the most difficult, is to apologize. How do we apologize? We're a little bit upset. We look away from the person we're in conflict with and we say, sorry about that. Or we say, I'm sorry if you're offended. I didn't mean you to be. Or we'll say something like, sorry, no hard feelings. That doesn't work. That is not an apology. An apology requires us to acknowledge what we have done. It requires us to take responsibility for what we have done. And we have to say, it was my fault. It requires us to regret what we have done and say, I am truly sorry, sincerely. It requires us not only to say that we will not do it again, but it requires us to say how we will act and conduct ourselves moving forward. So we must, in the course of our apology, say something like this.
I did not expect this outcome, but you can be sure that this will not happen again. And the last thing we have to do is seek forgiveness. I hope you'll forgive me. We have to look that person right in the eye. We have to be sincere, apologize what we did, and assure the person we acknowledge responsibility for what happened. And moving forward, we will act differently. That's what an apology is about. Now, dealing with an apology is a lesson in itself. Many of us do not know how to apologize properly, and many of us do, but we don't put that knowledge into practice. Another way to resolve conflict is to allow the disputant we're with to be heard. Sometimes that's all the person wants, to be heard. They believe that they have something of value to add, but they're not, they feel, being respected sufficiently to be allowed to express their point of view. Give them a chance to speak without interruption while you actively listen. A third way is to make an effort to solve the problem and resolve the conflict. Ask the other party what they propose. How do they think it'll work out? Get another perspective. Be open to different ideas. And in that same vein, be courageous. Determined to be a flexible thinker. Encourage dialogue to explore differences to come to an agreement. And if all these methods fail, then get help. Do not react. It is time to go to mediation. Sometimes we know that we cannot resolve the issue on our own. We know that we need the help of someone who can listen, and I mean actively listen, and who can facilitate a conversation between the good faith. Without good faith, none of it matters. If we believe that we can make it on our own without interdependence, and if that is our view, then you know that saying, no man is an island, that saying makes no sense. We all need each other, full stop. So those who wish to resolve conflict, they seek help. The best and the most palatable means is through mediation. Now, arbitration and the court process, they both review the past and they stick there. They seek to right a perceived wrong, dealing with the evidence before them. Mediation, on the other hand, has only a very brief overview of the past, and the focus of mediation is on the future. Where do we go from here? Mediation ensures that the parties maintain their focus, trying to reach a win-win situation position. And that means win-win means that each person wins. It does not mean that one person wins twice. This position will enable both parties to walk away with some degree of satisfaction, able to work together in the future. Another strong positive factor in mediation is that value is given to emotion. People generally go to court or to arbitration or to mediation even because they are angry, they are upset. Emotionally, they are in distress. We have to remember that business people are human too. They have feelings which need to be dealt with. They want to have the liberty and the flexibility to deal with people who have upset them later on down the road. They want the flexibility to make the best decision possible in the future for their business, for their family, and they want that decision not to be hampered by ill will. Mediation works because relationships matter. Relationships are often broken and unable to be mended after a negative court decision or after an adverse arbitration award. When we say relationships matter, we mean all relationships. Slide, please. Relationships matter because our health matters. Good health includes peace of mind. We are able to rest easily when we know that we've made a decision which will enable us to succeed in the future. Peace of mind enables us to proceed happily later on. That is the future. That includes good mental health. That includes having as little stress as possible. It also includes the ability to resolve the conflict and move on in peace and in good faith. We also want to succeed financially. Remember that saying, the health of the nation is the wealth of the nation. And that is why mediation is the answer. So to recap, what is the value of mediation and why is it important? Mediation is a voluntary process. The parties can have discussions as, when, for as long as they choose, which are not binding until a binding decision is reached. They can agree on some of the issues and get them resolved in a binding agreement and leave the other issues to be determined later and or otherwise. Mediation is completely informal. The parties, together with the mediator, determine the process. They choose how, they choose when, they choose where to meet. They can meet with or without representation. All discussions in a mediation are confidential. Parties cannot later go to court and try to tell the court what they learned at mediation. That is totally not allowed. Mediation is future focused. In a family mediation, parties try to make arrangements such that they can meet together at a grandchild's christening and be totally at ease, totally cordial. In a business mediation, parties should be able to facilitate each other and work together if an opportunity arises where parties would be an excellent match because of skill sets and or assets. In an employment situation, often parties are able to speak freely relative to the workplace relationships being better or differently managed. So parties are able to secure the 6 C's of mediation. Consensual, and that's the parties agree on how things will go during the process. Control, the parties control the process. The mediator only manages the process. Confidentiality, that's one of the greatest features of mediation. Cost saving, this process is much less costly than arbitration or mediation or litigation. Creativity, the parties are free to determine how they wish to resolve the problem. Sometimes the agreement is not a money solution. Often the fix relates to communication, training, lack of violence in language and speech, improvement in relationships, and the list goes on. And last, by no means least, continuing relations. I always say that relationships matter in every sphere of our lives. Mediation is a process which guarantees the possibility of this feature. Parties have the flexibility to allow this to happen. Now, I hope you've gotten the Thomas Kilmann exercise, and that's talking about conflict styles. It is very important in mediation to know what our conflict style is, both generally and in a specific situation. Our style in a family situation might be different from our style in a business situation. One thing we must be aware of that is that in all conflict, our styles have a place in our lives. No right style, no wrong style. In the situation we are faced with, we have to choose the style that works. So the competing style is one where the animal attached is the shark, and that's the assertive person, usually uncooperative. But that person is the person who is a quick decider, a person who makes a decisive determination quickly, especially in an emergency. He's the person who will not need to deliberate, but make a decision and be prepared to defend it. The compromising style is the fox. And the fox is the person who usually will find the expedient, mutually acceptable solution and just partially satisfying both parties. So compromising falls on the middle ground between a competing and accommodating, giving up more than competing, but less than accommodating. Likewise, it addresses an issue more directly than avoiding, but it does not explore it in depth. Avoiding. The avoiding style is the turtle. The turtle is unassertive. The turtle is uncooperative. The turtle does not immediately pursue his own concerns or those of the other person. The turtle just postpones an issue until a better time, withdraws from any situation that he might determine to be threatening. This is turtle is the person who, when they see that maybe there's no way out, they back off. That's the situation you hear the person saying, and we hear it all the time. Child, I'm leaving him to God. I'm not dealing with this. That's the turtle. Then you have the collaborator. That's the owl. The collaborating style is assertive and cooperative. The collaborator attempts to work with the other person completely until they find the best solution, which fully satisfies the concerns of both. And then you have the accommodating style, and that's the teddy bear. And the teddy bear is usually unassertive, but cooperative. So when accommodating, that individual neglects his or her own concerns and tries to satisfy the concerns of the other person. Okay, so who's the mediator? Slide, please. The mediator is the facilitator of a conversation, assisting parties to communicate. The mediator guides the parties to resolution. It encourages and enables them to explore the problem. It guides them away from their own personal positions and to look at the interests that they both have. The mediator is a shift of perceptions to realities, always reality checking. In fact, the mediator is called the agent of reality. The mediator is always a role model, always trying to effectively communicate, always trying to give some principled negotiation skills. And the mediator manages the process. I say control here because sometimes there needs to be some control when the parties determine that emotions are running high and they lose the control. And the mediator is the developer and articulator of options. And after all that, what is the main ingredient? Good faith. Without good faith, we won't mediate, and in fact, we will remain in conflict. Many thanks for your time and your attention.
Thank you, Mrs. Lashley, for a warm presentation this morning, enlightening. Thank you very much. Fellow Rotarians, the floor is open. Please ask your question.
Hello. Yeah, Louis asking, most time when you have a conflict, people want to listen to answer, not listen to understand. That's the problem.
That is indeed the problem. And in fact, once we listen to answer, that means we're not listening actively because we cut off listening before the person even finishes saying what they have to say. So we have to listen actively.
Good morning, Ms. Lashley. I have a question. As we enter a political season and amongst, how do we resolve conflicts where we have different views on the political atmosphere of the country, and also even in our own family circle where we have one family member is of this particular political persuasion. How do we resolve this conflict within our own family circle with different point of views?
I think what we have to do is agree to disagree. We have to determine that while we don't agree, we have to avoid violence in terms of the language that we use. We have to avoid violence in our thought process and disagree, but in a non-violent manner. We have to not say, y'all always doing so-and-so. Let the always go because it's probably not always. Or y'all never doing this as y'all supposed to be. Let the never go. And so what we want to do is deal with facts only, reality check what we're going to say. So we say what are facts. We leave out our own opinions or non-thought through comments and deal with them in that way. And that is a way that we will deal with the facts before us deal with the situation that arises, and answer the questions that are needed without any additions. It's hard work, but we can.
Good morning. I have a question. How do you resolve conflict when both parties have supporting evidence that would support their point of view?
When we're talking about mediation, we're talking about the future. So we both have supporting evidence as the position is today. We want to get to a place that we can be working together in harmony tomorrow, next week, next year. And so we look at the things that have kept us here, not moving, and look at the things that we want to see next year. And so we move from our position, we look at the interests we both have and see how we can marry them. So we try to think about the future and get off the position that we're holding. Does that answer the question?
Lavelle?
Did we lose Lavelle? I have a question in the meantime.
No, I'm
So
here.
there, oh, Lavelle, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I listened to what she said, but I understand.
Okay.
That was my question. That was my question.
Oh, okay. All right. Secretary Donna, go ahead.
Yeah, so I know maybe persons on the chat or throughout the Bahamas are curious about how they could become mediators. And you need not be a lawyer. Can you share with the meeting how they can become mediators and what are the prospects for adding that to their list of skills or the skills bank that they have, not just within our club, but within the Bahamas?
Mediation is a lifestyle. And so many of you probably are mediators already in your home settings. You'll be the go-to person in your family, or you'll know the go-to person. And so it's your mindset. It's your willingness to want to do good in terms of keeping the relationships strong for the future. And so a basic mediation training is about a 40-hour training. And in the Bahamas, there are now ways that it happens. Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, they do a 40-hour, they have a pathway to mediation. And so you can follow that. ADR Bahamas does training. I think the Chamber of Commerce has brought in people to do training. On occasion, I think one of the universities out of Canada have come in to do training. So there are a number of ways that training can take place. As I said, it's a 40-hour training, pretty much. And that gives you a basic training. You don't have to be an attorney at all. You don't have to have a first degree even, but you have to have the right mindset. And you could have training to be a mediation, training to be an arbitrator, training to be a conciliator, training to be an adjudicator. And the Chartered Institute offers all those, and that's the value of the Chartered Institute. It's global. Their thing is training, and they have a very well-known, well-respected module in terms of the training component in ADR. And ADR, as everybody knows, is alternative dispute resolution. But I say, and a lot of others say, ADR is EDR. ADR, the alternative dispute resolution, is effective, and that's why it's EDR. And so Donath is on the executive of the Chartered Institute, as am I. As in my introduction, you were told that I'm one of the fellows. We have about, and I don't even know, probably about 6 or so fellows in the Bahamas already. And we have a cohort right now going on to fellowship. And the good thing about it is that you can do all your training here. I did my training abroad because it wasn't available here, but it is now. And so that's always a plus. So everybody can, if we want to. And Donna could give you the contacts for our training director in Chartered Institute if you'd like.
I'd be happy to do that. There's a question in the chat. Does this group work with the guidance counselors at Education to create a practical template for conflict resolution in schools?
Does the Chartered Institute do? Is the question?
Yes, I think it sounds that way. Yeah.
Okay, and the answer to that is not really. At ADR Bahamas, we had done some training for guidance counselors some years back. The difficulty with the training is, and what has happened with us when we did it, that would have been 2016, 2017, 2018, is that the ministry has to have a program itself. And that's the only way it works in other jurisdictions as well. So that when the guidance counselors do their training before the school year starts, that has to be a part of it. That has to be a component. And so that they are able to keep their skills honed. I know when we do training at ADR Bahamas mediation training, we have in the past always had a guidance counselor or two trained. And so it has to be something that you want to do. That's what training is about. So, but the answer to the question is no.
Are there any further questions for Mrs. LASHLEY? I want to ask a question, Mrs. LASHLEY. Further to the question asked earlier by Lavelle, he wanted to know if two persons in a dispute have the same information. I am thinking that one of those persons must be willing to allow the other person, step back and allow the other person to take the role or carry on or do whatever it is that they are having this dispute over. Because if two persons have the same information, they have the same rights, then I am understanding that one of those persons must take a step back role and allow the other person to carry on. Am I looking at it correctly or?
It depends on what is required, because we're talking about that is where we are today. We want to look at where do we want to be tomorrow? And if we stop and say, where do we want to be tomorrow? For person number A, they might say, well, you know, for us to get on tomorrow, the way you speak, the violence in your language, the lack of attention actively to what is being said, the way that you brush off anybody else's ideas, that is what is preventing us from moving forward. And that person would say to me on the other side, they would say, well, you know, I do that because we wouldn't make any progress. When it's time to make a decision, your group doesn't come to the table on time. When it's time for us to move forward, your group is lacking something. And so what we determine to move forward, we have determined is, okay, I would say, okay, well, I need 2 more people on my group because we have too many things to do to get it done in the time allocated. And your side will then probably not be as violent because we're both moving forward to where we need to go, where we want to be in the future. And so we look at what the areas are that are weak and why they are weak and where we want to go forward. So both parties probably have to do something to move forward.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for Mrs. LASHLEY? I will now ask AG Carla to please bring the vote of thanks.
Thank you, President Francis. Good morning, Mrs. Lashley. I'm happy to say that I've had some exposure to mediation and arbitration, and I know that you're one of the foremost voices and proponents of ADR and mediation in the Bahamas. And I'm so happy that you chose to spend your time with us this morning, taking us through points in the process, reminding us that good health matters, relationships matter, that the health of a nation is the wealth of a nation. And especially in this time and what we've experienced in COVID-19, and there has been anecdotally an increase in conflicts. This is really something that we ought to be paying attention to individually and as a nation. And I thank you for coming this morning to remind us that the future is important. And I think that's the last thing you just spoke about. You know, persons may have evidence or information, but what is the way forward? Insanity is repeating the same thing and hoping for a different result. So there has to be a different way. Thank you this morning for coming and speaking to us about mediation. Thank you for your work and for the work of the organization in the Bahamas.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, A.G. Carla. Now we'll have the four-way test. Rotarian Simone.
Good morning, fellow Rotarians and guests. Of the things we think, say, or do,
the things we think, say, or do.
Is it the truth?
Is it true?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Is it fair to
all
all
concerned?
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Will it build
goodwill
and better friendships?
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Will it
be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, Rotarian Simone. Secretary Donette, are you ready with the raffle or shall I proceed to the final tools?
Okay, President Francis, as I said earlier, I will not be able to draw the raffle live this morning, but we have 10 persons who have participated so far. Now, come on, man, we have almost 50 people on this meeting. Please purchase a raffle ticket. 1 ticket for $5, 3 tickets for 10. I will be drawing the raffle after the meeting and we'll post the results. So please enter into the chat.
What is the raffle?
Yes.
Thank you. Somebody's asking what the raffle is.
Oh, the raffle is a cell phone. It's an Alcatel cell phone. I know Devard is on the line. He won 2 cell phones already, so he's banned.
Don't be shy. I won't win, okay?
But if you want to win
Need some tickets. How it go? 3 for
so
10.
You see, Devard won the raffle twice. He won 2 cell phones, and I'm sure he's gonna buy the raffle again. But if you already have a cell phone, you could gift it to someone else.
Somebody
so,
listening? Donna, give me 2, what, 6 tickets? How would the tickets go? 3 for 10?
Yes. So
Not
you
just,
want,
he didn't just win.
$30 worth?
He just didn't win 2 cell phones.
Masha, $30 worth of tickets?
Yes.
Okay.
Donna,
All
put me
right.
down for 20.
Well, I will record the draw and I will send it to you.
Lavelle, is he still online? Lavelle, are you purchasing tickets for you in Creswell this morning?
Lavelle
purchased for himself.
Donna, try to
put me down for $20.
Okay.
What name you want yours in, Cressy?
Put it in Dano Plus.
So $20 for you, Creswell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone
awesome.
else?
I see where okay, so we had some persons who joined us. There's President Pixie is on the call. Welcome to the meeting. Please send me your contact information so I can reach you just in case you win the raffle this morning. And thank you for purchasing the raffle ticket. Devar Thompson from Rotaract is also here. Mrs. Kelphine Cunningham, Sharice Brown also joined us after we did the welcome. So thank you so much for being at our meeting this morning. We appreciate you for being here.
So that retired Justice Knowledge Secretary.
Oh, yes. Okay, and retired Justice, Mrs. Ruby Nottage. Welcome again. Looks like we're about to get a Rotarian, and we'd love to have you.
Secretary Donald, there are a number of members from CARB, as you know, Bahamas here. So maybe you could just, I think we have a few minutes, just
yes, we do.
Who they are.
Okay. So
I treated them as guests, but collectively.
Yes, so let me allow them to introduce themselves, starting with, let me see, I think we have Mrs. Lashley, who you just met. She's on the executive committee. We also have Miss Sharice Brown. Sharice, open your mic and say hi. Miss Sharice Brown is an attorney in Freeport, and she is in charge of training. So all the training, you may see us having some social media presence in terms of our ads. We have 2 courses that are coming up, and Sharice is responsible for coordinating that. Sharice, can you open your mic?
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes,
we're hearing you.
Good morning, and welcome.
Rotary Club. Glad to be here. And an excellent presentation by Mrs. Lashley. Donna is quite right. We are hosting 2 introductory courses. The first one is on the 25th of February, Introduction to Arbitration. And the second is on March 1st, Introduction to Mediation. And Ms. Lashley will be lecturing that particular course. So we invite those of you who are interested and have the mindset to be a mediator to please join us for those sessions. Donna has my contact details. Have a great day, each of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We also have Kenya Nottage. Kenya is into maritime arbitration, and you know we have a maritime hub here in the Bahamas, so that's an excellent area. Kenya, can you open your mic and just say hey and tell them a little bit about yourself?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Donette. Excellent presentation. I'd like to also say of Mrs. Lashley, and thank you all very much. I'm Kenya Nottage. I have the pleasure and the honor of being 3rd Vice Chair of CARB, and I'm joining my other colleagues who I see are here and delighted. Yes, we have maritime obviously bumping up. You know, everybody likes to think about tourism and banking, but maritime certainly is here. And so I hope to represent a little bit of the diversity of arbitration and hopefully mediation within alternate dispute resolution and hopefully moving us all forward and assisting in doing so. All right, have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We also have our 2nd Vice Chair, Mrs. Rankin, and she's a Rotarian as well, former magistrate and former Assistant Governor for Rotary District 6690. So, Mrs. Johnson, you're muted. You're muted, Mrs. Johnson.
Sorry. Yes, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for making me part of your meeting, Rotarians. And I'm the 1st Vice Chair of the CARB Bahamas branch. I've been involved with the branch since 2011 from the inception. And it's been a pleasure being a part of CARB because I've just graduated from being an arbitrator, but I still have more work to do. It is a wonderful alternative occupation and to be a mediator or arbitrator. So I recommend that you take the opportunity to join our membership group and start taking the exams and the training. I'm very proud that this morning has happened because I think we're opening a new window to everyone. And thank you for making me part of your wonderful, wonderful meeting. And I'm very proud of Mrs. LASHLEY. She's excellent tutor as well as an excellent attorney. And we're just glad to be here. And thank you, Donna.
You're welcome. And of course, you met Mrs. Nottage at the last meeting, and she's an approved faculty and will be doing the training on arbitration. So good morning, Mrs. Nottage. We also have Yolande Brown. Yolande is from the Insurance Commission. Open your mic and say, hey, Yolande. And Yolande and I work on the promotions and PR for CARYL Bahamas. Yolande?
Yes, good morning. This is Yolande Roll. Good morning to all of you. I'm so happy to be here. I had to set my alarm to get up. But I thoroughly enjoyed Ms. LASHLEY's presentation, and I'm happy to share in the meeting with you all today. I am the membership chair, and my task is to do all I can to help and grow the membership for CARYL. And so we look forward to increasing our membership once everyone who was registered for the courses have completed it successfully. And so I encourage all of you who can and are interested in mediation to please participate in the courses so that you can join our membership. Thank you again. And I wish all of you a beautiful day.
Thank you so much. And we look forward to
having you. Look forward to seeing you again.
And we also have Mrs. Carthy. You open your mic and say, hey. Mrs. Cunningham? I don't know, we probably lost her. We also have our honorary secretary and the second vice chair, that's Shalyn Ingram. Shalyn, could you say hi to the meeting? I see almost the entire team is here except for our chairman, but we'll have him visit another time. Is Shalyn still on? Shalyn?
I think she's left.
Okay, all right. So I think that covers our CARB members. Myself, I'm a member of the executive committee, and we also have other members of the Caribbean Institute of Arbitrators. There's, Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, both for the Caribbean, Bahamas, and London, and CARYL A, Card Stub, is also a member. Just one last thing I want to say, I'm not trying to push too much of CARB because I know the purpose of the meeting, time is going. But recently, the Chief Justice announced that the court will be supporting our alternative dispute resolution by starting an arbitration court and also including mediation as part of case management. And so they will not only use lawyers. So if you are trained or you want to be trained as a mediator, here's an opportunity to practice another new skill and have the full support of the judiciary. So we look forward to hearing from you guys and to see some interest in this area. Thank you to the ExCom for coming out and supporting Mrs. LASHLEY this morning. This is the third time that she has addressed our club in recent times, may have done so long before, and has always brought the best. And so we thank her for her presentation this morning. Back to you, President Francis.
Thank you, Secretary Donna.
Excuse me, Madam President, may I just, as a member of the club, invite others to, avail themselves of the training. It's very good. I went through it. Ms. LASHLEY and Mrs. Nottage tried to teach me some things. I don't know how successful they were, but I was in the course and I passed it. It's really a good course. I commend it.
Thank you.
Awesome. So for more information, follow us on all our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, and we have a website. So it's www.carbahamas.com.
Madam
right,
President, I will comment before you finish. Jimmy said he passed the course. He meant he passed by the course.
Oh, boy.
Thank you, PDG, for that light moment.
I leave you with the Sarge.
All right, we'll have the final toast by Rotarian Tanisha.
Good morning, everyone. Please raise your mugs,
Good
cups
morning.
to Rotary around the world.
Rotary around the
world.
world. Thank you, everyone, fellow Rotarians, to our guests online. We thank you for participating in our meeting this morning, and we look forward to seeing you again. You are always welcome to join us at 6:45 on Thursday mornings. We would love to see you. Thank you all and have a pleasant day.
Okay, thanks. Next week, we have another interesting speaker on alternative dispute resolution. And so you don't want to miss that. So we look forward to having everyone here next week, same time, same place. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Donette. Have a blessed day.
You too. Thank you.